Hallo Leute, welcome back to my channel Deutschflicks, where even your Duolingo owl takes notes. So today we are discussing dative prepositions. So those sneaky little words that always demand dative case, no question asked. So we'll go step by step what they are, how they work, and how to use them naturally in everyday life German. Sind Sie bereit? Are you ready? Los geht's. So we already had a discussion on accusative prepositions. Preposition is nothing but a word that connects noun or noun to the remaining part of the sentence. And in German, prepositions are big deal because they affect the case of the noun that comes after them. So some prepositions demand accusative, some demand dative, and some can take both. So today we'll focus on ones that always take dative case. So phone ZU SNAMBAG-A is the mnemonic which help you to memorize all the dative prepositions. So I'll go ahead and define SNAMBAG-A. S is for seit, N nach, E aus, M mit, B bei, E ab, then G for gegenüber, and at last A, this is for außer. So always remember phone ZU SNAMBAG-A. And now we'll discuss these prepositions one by one. We'll start with the easiest preposition, which is mit. It means with in English. Easiest example could be that I'll take coffee with milk. Ich nehme Kaffee mit Milch. With modes of transportation like bus, train, airplane, car, we use this preposition. For example, fährt mit Auto. Now Auto is das Auto. Topic is dative prepositions, right? So mit is dative preposition. How does das change in dative case? It changes to dem. So we'll fill mit dem Auto. Quick recap. Der changes to dem. Das also changes to dem. Die changes to der. And die plural changes to den plus n. Now the significance of that n is that you attach it with the noun. We had a discussion already on dative case. Hence, I am assuming that you are well versed with how article change in dative case. In case you're wondering where is the definite article, so as explained in accusative preposition episode, sometimes you do not use, there's no need of the article. I will not say I will take coffee with the milk. There's nothing specific about milk, right? So why to use it? Another context where you use mit is when you want to say at the age of. For example, at the age of 18, you are allowed to drive a car. Mit 18 Jahren darf man Auto fahren. You're allowed to drive car at the age of 18. Next we have außer. Which is opposite of mit. Außer means except. So you use this when you want to exclude someone or something. For example, now in this blank, I want to fill my. Wir machen einen Urlaub außer Luca Bruder. So we are going for a vacation except for my brother. This is the meaning. And we know for my, we got two words. We can go for mine, which we'll use for neutral and masculine. And we also have meine for feminine and plural. Now, Bruder is masculine, right? Hence, we will go with mine. But außer is dative preposition. How does der change in dative? It changes to dem. So mine will be changed to meinem. Wir machen einen Urlaub außer meinem Bruder. Our next preposition will be von. Now, English meaning of von could be of. For possession, we'll use this. And it can also mean from, which depicts like origin. Example, das ist ein Lied von Ed Sheeran. That is a song of Ed Sheeran. So that song is sung by Ed Sheeran. It belongs to him. Next example. Ich bekomme das Geschenk von Luca Freundin. So it will mean I will get the gift from my girlfriend. Now, Freundin is die Freundin. How does die change in dative? It changes to der. So meine will be changed to meine. Our next preposition is aus. And I want your attention here. Reason being, most of the German learners get confused between von and aus. So von and aus, they both mean from. Now, in order to remember this from, you have to memorize that we use this preposition when someone or something comes out of something. I'll give you an example. If you're drinking water from the bottle, now that water will come out of the bottle. Or if you're taking 10 rupee note from your wallet, so that 10 rupee note will come out of the wallet. So this from is out of something. Now I'll write examples in German. Ich trinke Wasser aus der Flasche. I'm drinking water from the bottle. Now the water will come out of the bottle. So don't use von here. We cannot use this preposition. Another context where we use this preposition aus is when something is made of something. Made of. For example, this ring is made of gold. Now, in that situation, I have to use the preposition aus. Der Ring ist aus Gold. Like a rough meaning would be if this is the gold, now the ring is coming out of this gold. That's how you can memorize. And one popular context is you already know if someone asks you, woher kommen Sie? Where do you come from? Now for origin also we use this preposition. We say ich komme aus and then the country name or the state name. Ich komme aus Indien. Our next preposition will be seit. English meaning will be since. When do we use since? For an activity that started in the past and it is still going on. For example, you started learning German 1 month ago and you haven't stopped. It is still going on. Now in that situation we have to use seit. So what I'll do is I will translate my sentence. I have been learning German for a month. Since 1 month. Ich lerne Deutsch seit einem Monat. Okay, so that you do not forget this preposition seit, which is like super crucial, what you can do is while telling your profession, where you're working at, you should mention since when have you been working at that particular company. So you can use this preposition seit 3 Jahren, 3 years, seit einem Jahr, since 1 year. Now next preposition is also related with time, ab. Ab means starting from or onwards. So we got third preposition which also means from. So most of you can relate, you always start something from Monday, right? For example, going to gym from Monday onwards. Now how will we say that in German? Ab Montag gehe ich ins Fitnessstudio. From Monday, I will go to the gym. So this is like the starting point. By the way, we can also use it in the context of space. So it is not only restricted to time. Zum Beispiel, for example, so the train will depart from Berlin. You can use it with age as well. So we saw this example now. Mit 18 Jahren darf man Auto fahren. If you say ab 18 Jahren darf man Auto fahren, that will mean from 18 years onwards you're allowed to drive a car. I'll write the same example here as well. Or let me choose a different one. Ab 18 Jahren darf man, you can choose to vote, right? Wählen. Wählen means to choose, to elect, or to vote. Now next two pairs that we are going to discuss will be Nach and ZU. So I want your 100% attention here. Now Nach and ZU, they both mean to in English. Now the question is, when do we use what? So if you are traveling within the city, if this is your city, you're just traveling within the city. Suppose you're going to the school, you're going to the post office, you're going to the bank, then you have to use ZU. For example, ich gehe zu Lukas Schule. Schule means school, which is D, and D changes to what in dative? It changes to der. So we will say ich gehe zu der Schule. I am going to the school. By the way, you can also club zu and der together, and you can simply say zur. And this is what you're gonna hear in everyday life. Ich gehe zur Schule. I'm going to the school. If you're going to the office, Büro is office, but its article is das. So how does das change in dative? It changes to dem. Hence we will say ich gehe zu dem Büro. Now again zu and dem can be clubbed together to form zum. Ich gehe zum Büro. Now the question is, which two is this? Now I talked about traveling within the city. What if you're leaving your city, you're going to a new country, or you're going to a new city? That is when you have to use nach. Example, er fliegt nach Berlin. He's flying to Berlin. So quick recap, we use zu when we are traveling within the city, but if we are leaving the city, we are going to the new city or country, we have to use nach. But let's say you're going to someone's place. Now that someone This person can be anywhere in the world. You have to use the preposition zu. You cannot use nach. For example, mein Sohn geht zu Luke Tante. Tante means aunt, which is D. D changes to what in dative? Der. And I can simply say zur. I have clubbed zu and der. Mein Sohn geht zur Tante. Now I cannot use nach. So always remember, if you're going to someone's place, even if you're going to the doctor, you have to still use the preposition zu. I'll also take the doctor's example. Ich gehe zum Arzt. I'm going to the doctor. So I have clubbed zu and dem together to form zum. Coming back to nach, its literal meaning is after. Let's say you take a break after the class. How will you say that in German? Ich mache eine Pause nach dem Unterricht. So when we discussed Uhrzeit in German, be it offizielle Zeit or inoffizielle Zeit, we saw that we have to use the preposition nach for past. Example: Es ist Viertel nach 8. It is quarter after 8 or past 8. We use nach with directions as well. For example, der Mann fährt nach Süden. So the man is driving towards south or to south. Now one last context wherein we can use nach. Doesn't matter where you are right now. You're on Earth or maybe on some another planet. If you're going back home, you always have to use nach. And you will say, Ich gehe nach Hause. Memorize this sentence. I am going to home. Ich gehe nach Hause. Now, if you have reached your home, how will you say I am at home? Now, that is when you have to use zu. You will say, Ich bin zu Hause. I am at home. So my suggestion to you would be you memorize these two sentences. Ich gehe nach Hause, ich bin zu Hause. So the difference between nach and zu, it was a bit lengthy. We could have also created one separate video on this, but it's okay. Let's discuss the last two prepositions. Bei. So one popular context is if you're working at some company, you have to use bei. For example, Ich arbeite bei Amazon. I work at Amazon. If you are at someone's place, maybe you are at doctor's clinic, you are at salon, you have to use bei. For example, Arzt ist der. So der changes to what in dative? Dem. Mein Vater ist bei dem Arzt. My father is at doctor's place, at doctor's clinic. And you can combine bei and dem together to form beim. Mein Vater ist beim Arzt. Bei also means near. For example, Der Student wohnt bei der Schule. So the student lives near the school. And no, bei and der cannot be clubbed together to form beier. No, das geht nicht. Not possible. And one last meaning of bei, during. So some students have a habit of listening to a song during learning, while learning. So in that situation, we use bei. Sie hört Musik beim Lernen. Lernen article das. Das Lernen means learning. So she listens or she hears music while or during learning. And our last preposition is gegenüber. Its meaning is opposite of or across from. This preposition is again bit special. I'll mark it with star. It is pretty much similar to entlang. So do you remember from our accusative preposition episode, we discussed entlang, which means along, and we use this preposition after the prepositional object. Similarly, gegenüber will also come after the object. Suppose if there is post office opposite of the bank, then we have to use this preposition gegenüber. And we'll say, post office, post is D. D changes to der in dative case, hence I'll write der. But I will change the position of gegenüber. It will come after the object. So we'll say die Bank ist der Post gegenüber. If someone is sitting opposite of me, then again I have to use gegenüber. I'll say, jemand sitzt mir gegenüber. Mir is the personal pronoun in dative case. Now another use of this preposition which no one teaches is in context of towards someone. For example, if I want to say he was friendly toward me, then I have to use this preposition only. And I'll say, er war freundlich mir gegenüber. And that's it. We have discussed all the 10 dative prepositions. Now I want you all to take a look at all of them. And we are not done yet. So you're given 10 questions and 10 options, basically 10 dative prepositions. Decide what will come where. Pause the video and we'll discuss the answers in 5 seconds. Okay, so let's fill the most obvious ones. We'll start with Nummer 2 und 3. Nummer 2, wir fahren morgen Lücke Berlin. Berlin is the city, right? And if you're traveling to a new city or country, we use the preposition nach. So we are driving tomorrow to Berlin. Nummer 3, ich gehe morgen Lücke der Bank. Now, bank is something you find within the city. So we use the preposition zu for within the city. Ich gehe morgen zu der Bank. Dann Nummer 6. Sie spielt gerne Lücke ihrem Hund. She plays gladly blank her dog. It will be with her dog, right? Mit. Nummer 7. With common, most of the time we use the preposition aus. Ich komme aus dem Zimmer. I come out of the room or from the room. Nummer 9. Der Supermarkt ist direkt Lücke der Post. Supermarket is directly opposite of the post office. Gegenüber. For Nummer 1, ich komme gerade. Can I use aus here? First things first, we have already filled aus. Second, you cannot come out of the hairdresser, right? So we use aus when someone or something comes out of the something. So we'll be left with only one preposition, von. I'm coming from the hairdresser. Nummer 4, wartet schon. It will be seit einer Stunde. He has been waiting for an hour. Nummer 5, niemand Lücke dir versteht das. So no one understands that blank you. It will be except for you. Außer. Nummer 8. Meine Mutter geht nicht draußen Regen. My mother doesn't go outside while it rains or during rain. By and Regen is der Regen. Der changes to dem in dative. So I'll write beim. I have clubbed by and dem together to form beim. Nummer 10. We are left with only one preposition, which is ab. Ab dem 1. Juli mache ich einen Urlaub. Starting from 1st July, I'll go on a vacation. Now you can let me know your score out of 10 in the comment section. And that's a wrap on dative prepositions. If this helped clear your confusion, hit that like button and subscribe to Deutschflicks for more bite-sized, brain-friendly German content. Remember, whenever you see von ZU SNAMBAG-A, you have to switch your articles to dative. See you in the next video. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Tschüss.
Like and subscribe.